This is not an easy transit to go through. I made the video because, like, of course, when I looked up Justin Timberlake's chart last night, I wasn't surprised to realize he was a Leo ascendant. Every Leo ascendant right now is going through this, like, come to God type of moment with compulsions and addictions, but also what it means to be empowered. A lot of times when we have malefics like Saturn transiting the 8th house, this can mean like we lose people that are very dear to us, or we can experience like these type of situations that are just like not something you would experience every day. It's like the transformative experiences of life that leave us kind of dumbfounded. The 8th house in astrology is a darker house because it's the house of Scorpio. So it can be an intense experience because you're literally going through this metamorphosis where it's like you have to DIE and be reborn again. But one thing about 8th house transits, placements in the chart, or even Scorpio people in general, or Scorpio placements, they always rise from the ashes as a stronger version of themselves. So with that being said, many people will experience Saturn transiting the 8th house, obviously, as like a moment where it's like you don't know what to do with your life anymore. And it's also like kind of like you're being reminded of like your age and like where you should be. And like I feel like that's been a theme even with like a lot of the Leo risings in pop culture. This can also put a lot of financial strain on an individual. So the 8th house is the house of joint finances. It's like the sharing with another. So even though it's not a marriage house, it's a house of like joint finances, like when your finances actually join up together and you're getting inheritances or you're getting money that is not necessarily money you earned. That would be more like 6th house, 2nd house. But the 8th house is like money that you receive that isn't necessarily money you had to like, quote unquote, go clock in, clock out to earn. So a Saturn transiting this 8th house, it's like you have to be realistic. And a lot of times you'll see people kind of have to like go through this realistic approach with money, whether it's like divorcing and separating assets, or it's just like fighting over inheritances or what someone really said. Like this 8th house Saturn can be one where your deepest, most intimate relationships can be your hardest learned lessons right now. Now, this doesn't mean every Leo ascendant is going to have legal problems. I think that's more of a 9th house matter. So again, one transit is not going to dictate how everything's going to go, but it is something to be mindful of. And again, degrees matters just in general with Saturn in Pisces, Neptune in Pisces. There's going to be a lot of water world events. So, you know, what the sharks are doing, how they're swimming irregularly, like they're communicating to us. I know that sounds crazy, Mercury and Pisces, but like this there's going to be a lot of incidences that are in alignment with water. So Saturn is at 19 degrees and it's going to go retrograde on the 29th. And so pay attention to how old lessons start to come up right now, especially if you have planets plus or minus 19 degrees. So when we're talking about degrees and orbs, like I operate off of a 5-degree orb, meaning like when I look at someone's chart, like they have to have, like, let's say you're at 17 degrees, your moon is at 17 and Saturn's at 19 degrees Pisces right now. Like that's right there in that 5-degree orb. So that's very close in my opinion. Now, I've met a lot of astrologers that do like a 10-degree orb, so that's fine. I just like more precision. I'm a Virgo rising. I need like precision. I want to know when it's exact. So I will say this about Saturn transiting the 8th house. This can also mean that you gain a sense of empowerment as you exit this transit. So an astrologer told me years ago, every Saturn transit, you receive a gift at the end of it. So if you did what, you know, Granddaddy Saturn wanted you to do, at the end of it, you'll receive a gift as you embrace the new journey of Saturn transiting the next house in front of the house it's been transiting. Now, if you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, there's a video below about like how to interpret your birth chart. So, and I'm always happy to help. If you're having trouble with it, just ask me a question. I'll try my best to get back to you. But Saturn in the 8th house transiting is challenging. Like this is going to be a time when you're really stripped of who you are and you're having to like in a sense, rebuild who you are, rebuild your life. You know, as we move into Saturn transiting the ninth house, that's when like your cultural beliefs will really take the forefront. Right now, it's kind of dealing with like the deep psychological wounding that maybe you haven't dealt with, or that you've continually dealt with, and it's like old habits die hard. So I feel like the 8th house has a lot to do with compulsion and addiction. Even though the 12th house traditionally is like the addiction house, I still feel like people with 8th house placements, Scorpio placements, addiction, compulsion, obsession. And if we look at people like Trump, Drake, J-Lo, she just canceled her world tour, Justin Timberlake, all these, Kate Middleton with her diagnosis, all of these people have Leo ascendants. Yes, they're at different degrees, but they're obviously impacting these people's lives and their, like, outward persona. And so it's important during this time to really be mindful of what you're involving yourself with. And I'll say too, with Neptune transiting the 8th house, because Neptune is also in Pisces. So it's kind of a double whammy, because you have Neptune in Pisces and then you have Saturn in Pisces, which are both your 8th house if you're a Leo ascendant, according to whole house astrology. And so with this happening, this is like Neptune in the 8th house is like always delusional. So you have to be careful who you trust, because this would be a time that if you were to get caught up with any fraud, it'll come back and bite you in the butt. So you don't want to be knowing things you shouldn't. You don't want to be entangling with people that you know are not going to get you what you need as far as like stability in life, you know. And that's what Saturn in the 8th house is urging for you. But soon in the 8th, it's like, it's very confusing. And Neptune does deal with a lot of like addictions, you know. So Neptune in the 8th, like whether it's overspending, like it's not always drugs and drinking. It could be like a lot of things. We could be addicted to gambling, to spending, to there's so many things. I mean, I personally don't believe that we ever fully get rid of our addictions. I just think we replace them with better ones. So I think addictions are kind of a tricky subject, but this is what these transits are bringing forward, is like, what are you compulsive about? What do you obsess about? And what owns you? So I do feel like there's an opportunity here to transcend from that and be able to like come out stronger, so you're not so bewildered by what's happening in your life, or what has occurred for you, or what will occur for you, because Saturn and Neptune are going to stay in Pisces until like 2026, I believe. Different months, but so it's going to be a minute. We're going to be here a while. So it's a lot. And this is a very intense transit. So, you know, getting like psychotherapy or assistance would be very ideal during this time, because it would just be good for you to have a sounding board so you could come to your own realizations. I feel like that's what therapy helps us with. So love and light. I know it's tough right now, and please don't take my videos as jokes. I know it's tough, but I feel like the best way to deal with it is humor sometimes. So love and light. Thank you so much for watching my content. Bye.